He could knock people out with either hand, right or left.
We knocked people out that shouldn't be knocked out, that they say we couldn't knock out.
People are very proud of him. They keep saying they're putting Youngstown back on the map.
A lot of people want to be around him now. He's getting that celebrity type status.
The condition that he's in is just unbelievable.
Been working out 4 times a day for 6 weeks and waking up in the morning and running and then sparring and then lifting and then coming to the Y at night.
I just couldn't believe that the people were there and waving towels and screaming and hollering for him.
This is one of the best things to happen to Youngstown in the past decade or so.
We fought everybody that they put in front of us, and we didn't just go to a decision. We destroyed them.
They start calling him the ghost. They says, you can't hit what you can't see.
He has lived up to every hype that has been said about him and beyond.
2, 3.
I like to see him win a world title.
This town needs something big and major to happen.
This kid's going to be a champion.
In Youngstown, Ohio, where Lucius Avenue and Erie Street intersect, sits the gritty South Side Boxing Club. Inside the cramped gym, Kelly Pavlik, the #1 ranked middleweight contender in the world and defender of Youngstown's storied boxing history, is training for his upcoming fight with the hard-punching and outspoken Edison Miranda.
Boxing's not a sport of being pretty and any glam. It's a rugged, tough sport, and you know, if you're going to fight in this type of business, you know, you want to go to the type of places that are like this. You know, this is where it's at, and you know, it makes you a tougher person too. Believe me.
We fought everybody that they put in front of us, and we didn't just go to a decision when we destroyed them. We knocked people out that shouldn't be knocked out, that they say we couldn't knock out.
Good.
Now at 30-0 and #1 in the world, there's a lot of attention. The spotlight's on me, and a loss could be very, very devastating to your career. You know, we'd have to go up a big hill again to get back to where we were. So that's always plays on the back of your mind. You know, what happens if, and what's going to happen if I don't do this. So you know, the main thing is though not to worry about it too much close to fight time, and just go in there and be confident as much as possible.
I think Miranda's wasting a lot of valuable internet time because Kelly's not paying any attention to him at all. So all the talking he's doing is going for naught.
The Miranda Pavlik fight will take place May 19th in Memphis on the undercard of Corey Spink's Jermaine Taylor. Taylor is the current middleweight champion of the world.
Romeo said it.
In theory, the winner of Miranda Pavlik will in turn be the next in line to fight Taylor for his world title.
Let's talk a little bit about your upcoming fight with Edison Miranda, fighting for a chance to go against Jermaine Taylor for the middleweight championship of the world. What are your thoughts about Edison Miranda first off?
You know, he's obviously a great fighter. You know, he's #1 in the world by a couple of other organizations. But, you know, watching him fight, he seems more of a bully to me. You know, one of them bully type fighters. You know, a lot of guys that go in the ring with him are afraid of him, so they go straight backwards. And that's when he sets up with that big right hand. You know, it's wide, it's looping, and somehow he lands it, you know, and it's hard. So, but when you watch a lot of the fights with him, as soon as the fighters start throwing punches at him, he goes straight backwards. You know, it's kind of like you don't like to get punched back at. We're going to test that chin, you know. Right now, to me, that chin's a little suspect, so we're definitely going to take advantage of that.
Last 30 seconds, we're going to work like an interval, up and down, light.
I'm a homebody and don't want to ever leave. This is where my place is. Over here is the room my grandma, Lewis, lives. This used to be a house over here. They tore it down though, but we used to always have basketball games. This is where my Aunt Gigi lived. These were the fields that we used to play backyard football right here. And then right here is my grandma, Stella. Yeah, all this street here, we used to have all these fields that we used to play, you know, backyard football, kickball. This one was the best one to play. Until you got to the end, then you went downhill. It wasn't fun.
Kelly grew up on Youngstown's south side in a modest two-bedroom home where his parents still live today.
What would you like for dinner?
Eat now.
The youngest of three boys, Kelly was seemingly always out to prove his individual existence to his older brothers.
We had our moments. Smaller house, but for three boys growing up.
Oh yeah, he used to say, wait, he's gonna be bigger than all of you and it's gonna be your turn. He would sit and watch TV on the floor and they'd walk past him and crack on the back of his head. And...
Growing up, I was the toughest.
He was, he's 5 years younger than the oldest one and 4 years or so of the middle one. So, you know, they used to give it to Kelly pretty good, you know, but, you know, he would wait for them to sit down with their backs to him and he would get them, you know. Of course, he paid for it, but he would get one in.
You know, your brother talked about you have that inner circle of people and making sure that everybody's on the straight and narrow and keeping things.
Oh, you. Oh, man.
I know that hurt.
Kelly was just so advanced. He wanted to learn martial arts coming up, and I told my father one day, he's like, send him down to Jack Lowe.
You know, I was taking martial arts and playing other sports. I just came down one day, wanted to try out boxing.
My wife brought him down here to sign up for boxing, and the trainer, Jack Lowe, wasn't here, but Harry Arroyo, former lightweight champion of the world, was here, and he was joking around and talking with Kelly, and his poster, Harry's poster, was right on the wall, and I remember my wife asking Kelly, she says, do you know who you're talking to? Of course he had no clue, but that's how it all started.
He came in tall, lanky, skinny little kid, probably around 80, 85 pounds. But you know what? As soon as he started shadow boxing, after a couple days, and you know, it's just like having one of those little 12-year-old kids on the football field. That I mean, it's just a special thing you could tell. And I knew back then that he was going to be something.
It was very noticeable. He just picked it up right away, and he had his first fight. I think he was 9 years old, and he won his very first fight, and then didn't stop from there.
This is what I dreamed to do all my life. I fought since I was 11 years old to make it for the Olympic trials.
He would get in the ring, and he was a tall kid. He was, I don't know how tall he was at that age, at 9 and 10, 11, 12 years old, and he had size 14 feet. And his body would get through the ropes, but his feet wouldn't get through the ropes, you know, and he had skinny legs, skinny little white legs, and big kneecaps, and he was just a sight to see in the ring. But as soon as that bell would ring, you could see this gangly kid transform into a beautiful fighter. I think that he just fell in love with the sport of boxing. Being able to handle himself, that's what I think it was.